Welcome to the first podcast. Well, it's not a podcast, more like a vlog video of me learning how to mix music and produce music by myself. Well, I am a pianist, sort of, and more like an instrumentalist because I know pretty much. Okay, so what we're gonna do today is basically try to recreate Camilla Cabello's "Oh My God" track. But I've already done that before. But let me just break it down to you, and then we'll talk about the mixing part. Okay. So right now, what we do have here, what we do have here is basically a track. Okay, it's just like 5 tracks. Okay, there's just 5 tracks. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's 4. The other one is vocals. Okay, so this is basically the our hip hop beat. And then this is like some kind of percussion, and this is the lead, and then you have the electric piano, which is like just like a pad, sort of. Okay, so according to the mixing handbook, you're supposed to just have 5 elements, which we're trying to create 5 elements. Okay, so within that 5 elements, you need to be able to create a massive track. But for now, let's just take a listen to O.M.G track that I tried to recreate. Is trying to split whatever instruments I have right here, because right now I've EQ'd it so that I've removed the highs. I shouldn't be doing that, but I did because I thought that this part only had the kick, but actually no. So I'm gonna just remove that. I'm just gonna okay, I'm just gonna okay, all right, so I'm just gonna do this. Okay, so what I did is, and on my EQ, so when it comes down to mixing a song, you have to make sure that every track is occupying its own frequency range. So if I were to EQ this lead, okay, I haven't titled it as anything, but yeah, let's just title it as lead. Okay, that's your lead. Okay, so basically that's your lead. So if I were to EQ it, I have to make sure that I remove all the low frequencies that the kick is occupying, which is around 350 downwards. Okay, so 350 downwards. So I've cut from 300 because yeah, so 350, 300, it's like almost the same. Well, not necessarily, but yeah. So 300, so let's just go to 350, so just to make sure. So 350 onwards, I have to cut it because then the kick and this lead won't be fighting it with the same frequency, even though that my lead is at a higher register compared to the kick. We still have to remove the frequencies that's not really needed. Like the instrument doesn't really need it because it just has that piercing sound that I have to recreate, but I haven't really gotten to that part yet. But yeah, so we have to remove that. And then if you want some clarity with your high frequencies, you might want to boost around 2K or 1K. It depends really on the type of instruments that you have, and maybe a bit kind of just remove some highs because the sound is a bit too piercing through your ears. So let's just take a listen to that right now. I didn't really change much, but here it is without the, let's just listen to it without the EQ. Okay, on the kick. So let's just remove that. Okay, we'll just remove. Okay, so that's a part without the EQ. Now let's try with EQ. Okay. Even though that you don't necessarily hear a lot of difference, there is a lot of difference if you actually think about it in a type of perspective. So we have to do that. So we remove the low frequencies of the lead. Now, for this, this is a bit tricky because it's basically your pads. Now, my lead is basically probably occupying pretty much like the highs, I guess. Wait, that's a reverb. had a lot of highs. So I might want to remove just a bit of the low frequency on this bad boy. And I've removed some highs and lows. It's just like a pad, basically. It's just like a tiny pad. But I don't want it to have a really big EQ, just a tiny bit, so that we can really distinguish it from everyone else. Just like a tiny bit. You don't really need much. But yeah, so around this area. And I've totally cut off the low end. Not really much. Maybe not too much. Okay. All right. So let's try to listen to that one more time and see how it sounds. Start from here. Alright, and then let's just skip to the compressor sound. Okay, now the tricky part about this mixing this same track is probably just like, a very new version of whatever they've produced, but you have to really start from the very basic and just a simple arrangement so that you'll know what the instruments are actually doing. So each instrument has a type of EQ that you need to do. But the overall idea of EQing when it comes to EQing is that every instrument has to have their own frequency. Once they start sharing the same frequency, they're just going to just make each other just messy. And that's the first thing that we need to learn. I need to learn. So right now, this is the first vlog, and I'm just keeping track of what I'm doing to the music that I'm making. I'm not really a really, really, really good producer, but this is just a starting point. So I'd really appreciate if you guys have any suggestions whatsoever that I need to do in order to make this a much bigger arrangement. I'm actually going to start with that. I just have to probably add like a bit of a lot of arrangement on this 21st bar. Okay, a lot of like trap samples on that first bar, because everything in music is all about samples. All right, thank you for watching and listening to this vlog number 1 on learning how to mix and produce music by myself, well, also with books. Bye.